Happy Tuesday, everyone. Welcome to Mount Vernon Mondays. Yes, I know it's not Monday, but as I said last week, if there is a holiday on a Monday, then Mount Vernon Mondays will come to you on Tuesdays. And so glad that we're back here in the office. We made it through yesterday's storm really well. I want to give a shout out to fire, to police, Office of Emergency Management, as well as EMS, and of course DPW, who were all boots on the ground for the last few days preparing for the storm and making sure that we made it through yesterday safely. And so today is Tuesday, October 14th, 2025, and we are standing here today with the Fire Department of Mount Vernon. It's not the Mount Vernon Fire Department, it's not the MVFD, it is the Fire Department of Mount Vernon, FDMV. People always mess that up. I used to too, right? But it's FDMV. So this weekly series is designed to keep our residents informed, engaged, and connected, bringing transparency, accountability, and collaboration to the heart of city government. Each week we'll focus on a key area of importance, and this week we continue with public safety, and so we have the Fire Department of Mount Vernon here with us. Today we're highlighting the outstanding work that is being done by our firefighters, our inspectors, our emergency responders, and our leadership every day. Public safety clearly is not just about reducing crime, it's also about saving lives, protecting property, and responding when seconds count. Our fire department continues to demonstrate professionalism, courage, and excellence in the work that they do every day when they're responding to emergencies, from structure fires to medical emergencies, inspections, and prevention education. Their service embodies what it means to keep Mount Vernon safe, strong, and resilient. And so joining us today, this morning, is our dedicated fire department leadership team, our Commissioner Kevin Holt, our Chief of Operations, Juan Peralta, Teddy Beal, who is our Deputy Commissioner, and we also have our Fire Inspector, Jones, who will talk about prevention tips, and we have our dispatcher, Tony Everett, who will talk about emergency medical service, and we have Lieutenant DiMatteo and some of his crew from their rig. They're standing in to support us this morning. So these leaders clearly represent the strength and the depth of our department. And with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to our Commissioner Holt, who will take us further in this update. Thank you, Commissioner Holt.
Thank you. And thank you all who are attending and watching. The mission of the Mount Vernon Fire Department is to preserve life, protect property, and safeguard the community by responding to emergencies while also focusing on prevention, preparedness, and education. This includes extinguishing fires, performing rescue, responding to medical emergencies, and enforcing safety codes. The city of Mount Vernon currently has 4 firehouses. Each are geographically located in different sections of the city. We have one on the north side, the Lincoln Avenue Firehouse. We have one on the south side, the Griffins and Valentino Firehouse. We have one on the east side, Station 2, which is on Fulton Avenue. And we have the temporary firehouse on the west side, which is Station 4. Each fire, we also operate with 4 engine companies and 2 ladder trucks. There's an engine company or pump company in each one of the firehouses, with the ladder companies separating the city between the north side and the south side. The city of Mount Vernon also has 117 firefighters, with 10 probationary firefighters in the academy, set to graduate hopefully sometime in December towards the mid to end of January. We have 24 lieutenants, 6 captains, 6 deputy chiefs, 12 dispatchers, and 3 fire inspectors. This gives us a number of about 153 uniformed fire personnel, not including the commissioner or the deputy commissioner. The city of Mount Vernon, which is 4.3 square miles, we average about 11,500 calls a year. That would make Mount Vernon one of the busiest, if not the busiest, fire department in Westchester County. With that being said, the mayor and her staff has been actively pushing to increase public safety in the city of Mount Vernon. I say this because we're in the process of purchasing 2 new state-of-the-art Pierce pumpers to replace some of our aging fleet. These apparatuses will be set to come into the city of Mount Vernon hopefully by December. And the good news of it all is at zero cost to the taxpayers. This is coming through a community development block grant through HUD, and the money is definitely going to be utilized to preserve and allow the fire officers and firefighters on the apparatuses the necessities to keep you and your family safe and assist in reducing damages to your homes and to your properties. A lot of what we do stems from training. The city, we average about, again, 11,500 calls. Out of those calls, we average 35 structure fires a year. That's down from the previous 3 years and 3 or 4 years in which we averaged 40 structure fires a year. This is due to training, through educating the public, through code enforcement, which we will bring up the Chief of Operations, Juan Peralta, who will elaborate a little bit on training, followed by Commissioner Beal, who will talk a little bit of code enforcement, with Inspector Jones, who also talk of prevention, and we'll clean it up with dispatcher, emergency medical technician dispatch, Tony Everett, who will elaborate a little bit on our medical. I would like the people to know that the Mount Vernon Fire Department is here to serve the citizens of Mount Vernon. We're dedicated, we're committed, we exercise extreme caution and care, and we want to elevate and increase our response time so that we can serve the citizens of Mount Vernon a lot better. With that being said, I'm going to turn this over to the Chief of Operations, Juan Peralta.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So as the Commissioner stated, that training is a very important part of our department, and it is. This is how we, the fire department, serve our community, is through training. Training is the backbone of every fire department. It keeps us ready to handle any situation, whether the situation be a structural fire, EMS call, or hazardous material. So with that being said, we also have been doing something different. We've been doing a lot of cross-training with our neighboring department. We've been working with Yonkers, we've been working with New Rochelle, Pelham Manor, and Eastchester on strengthening our response so that we can better serve our community. Also, what we have been doing, we've been working real closely with the Mount Vernon Police Department, OEM, and our school city district to help with the evacuations of lockdowns of school evacuation, regular fire drills, and some fire prevention tips. So it's very important that we maintain teamwork so that we can better serve the community. So at this point, I want to turn it over to Teddy Beal so he can elaborate with the school district on how we are helping out. Commissioner?
Thanks, Chief. Morning. So fire inspections are just more than just going out and giving fines. It's all about keeping your home, your workplace, and your place of worship safe for you and your family. Whether at home or work or worship, the importance of functioning fire protection equipment is achieved through testing and visual inspections. So basically, we go to these buildings to make sure that your smoke detectors are working, the carbon monoxide detectors are in date, that the fire extinguishers are full and ready to go and hung at the proper height. It sounds crazy, but it's a bunch of little things that all add up to make you have a safe environment. Oil burners. Right now we're in heating season. It's suggested, strongly suggested by this department nationwide, the NFPA, the National Fire Protection Institute, strongly recommends that you get your oil burner serviced before heating season. We're in heating season right now. Westchester County started heating season on October 1st, and it goes through May 31st, meaning anytime that the outside temperature drops under 55 degrees, your inside temperature must be 68. If it's under 68 degrees, call us, tell us. We have a 24-hour number, which is 914-665-2626. Call, give us the heat complaint. We work with the building department closely. We don't go out on the heat complaints, but we organize with the building department. If you have a big apartment building, a big place is out of heat, yes, we will come out and try to get the burner back. Lithium-ion batteries is also a hot topic when it comes to fire prevention. So if you have a lithium-ion battery device, follow the manufacturer's instructions, and if you need to replace the battery, please buy replacement batteries from the manufacturers. Yes, they're more expensive, but at least you know where they're coming from. If you get them on Amazon, there's not, or another online distributor, it doesn't mean that these batteries are the right ones to have. Always look for the UL label on an extension cord. Some of these dollar stores sell these power strips and extension cords without a UL label, meaning UL is a standard, is a company that goes out and double checks to make sure that the product is made safely for you to use at home. And we want you to use the UL brand, not anything else. There are over 40 type of inspections that we perform from the Fire Prevention Bureau. And Silva, or Inspector Silva Jones will give a little bit more about that. But our two big ones is public assembly and certificate of occupancy or tenancy. Certificate, let's do the public assembly first. So a public assembly is any place that 49 or more people are gathered in the spaces of public assembly inspection. Basically your churches and places of recreation. So you wouldn't believe it, for a 4.3 square mile city, we have over 135 worship centers or places. So we need to get in there. We do an annual inspection every year to make sure that place is safe for you and your family. Certificate of occupancy and tenancies is when you buy, sell, or rent property in Mount Vernon. And again, this is all about safety. We want to make sure that wherever you go, that you're safe. We make, this year, with the mayor's assistance, the law department and the Department of Buildings, we worked tirelessly to get a local law passed. So we were in total alignment with the New York State codes. It was a challenge for all of us, but we pushed it over the goalpost, and now I can proudly say, along with the mayor and the building department, that we are now in compliance with New York State regulations when it comes to codes and the city ordinances. If you see a situation that you're unsure of, that you think is a hazard or a possible fire violation, please call us. Call us at the Fire Prevention Office, 914-665-2611, or the non-business number, 914-665-2626, or you can email us at fireprevention@mountvernonny.gov. Now I'll turn it over to Inspector Silva Jones to give you some tips and tricks on fire prevention.
And can I slide in for a second?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Inspector Jones, come on, Inspector Jones. I just want to bring everyone's attention level up for a moment. Because oftentimes when we talk about fire prevention, that's when people want to tune out. Please understand that the inspections that the fire department and the building department do are not just to make the city money, because it probably costs us more money than it makes us to do these inspections. It's about your safety. We understand that housing costs are up and that people are trying to find ways to save. And throughout our city, we have people who are living in illegal apartments. You're living in basements. You're living in attics. You're doubling up in apartments and housing, trying to make ends meet. We're not trying to hurt your housing, but what we're trying to do is, in the midst of you saving money, we also want to make sure that your life is not being put at risk. It is very difficult to find housing that you can afford, and oftentimes that leads people to dealing with landlords who might be struggling to keep their property up, who are not maintaining their property well. We've gone into houses and we've seen child beds next to oil burners, next to heating units, next to hot water tanks in basements. We know that families are struggling, and we're not trying to hurt you. But I've also had the misfortune, I don't know if that's a word, of going into houses where there were children living in those houses, and those houses had caught fire. And I had the opportunity to see burned baby beds and burned bedrooms, and actually see people who died in house fires. And that's something that we don't want to see here in Mount Vernon. There are a lot of people who are living in places that you know that are unsafe, but you don't want to report it and you don't want to say it because you're saying, well, I'll take my chances here as opposed to going to a shelter or living in my car. We want you to be able to be safe where you're living, where you can afford, and make sure that you're doing it where you and your children or our elders are not being put at risk. So please take out this moment to listen to our fire inspector, Jones, because I'm sure she gets to see on a daily basis more than I get to see from time to time. We drive by houses and you never know what the condition of those homes are inside. We have a lot of people who are hoarding, and that is also something that is very risky. So thank you so much, Inspector Jones and the team, and I'm gonna step to the side.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good morning, everyone. The fire department at Mount Vernon has always been deeply committed to protecting our residents through education, awareness, and community engagement. Over the years, we've worked hard to make fire prevention not just a topic for 1 week a year, but a year-round conversation. Now, guided by the National Fire Protection Association, our department has proudly used their annual fire prevention campaigns as teaching tools to promote fire as well as life safety across our city. Each year, these themes help us focus on the most pressing fire safety issues that affect our homes and our families. Just to give you a quick review, in 2022, we joined the NFPA in promoting Fire Won't Wait, Plan Your Escape, reminding residents that every second counts in an emergency and that having a plan can save lives. In 2023, we focused on Cooking Safety Starts With You, Pay Attention to Fire Prevention, a campaign that highlighted the leading cause of home fires and the simple steps we can all take to prevent them. Then in 2024, the theme, Smoke Alarms, Make Them Work For You, helped us reinforce the importance of properly installing, maintaining, and testing smoke alarms in every home. And of course, this year of 2025, we've embraced the NFPA's newest campaign, Charge into Fire Safety, lithium-ion batteries in your home. Now, this initiative is all about educating the public on how to use as well as charge everyday devices safely. Because we all know, as we all know, technology evolves, so do the risk, and of course, awareness is our best defense. Now, through school visits, community workshops, public outreach events, the fire department at Mount Vernon continues to bring these vital lessons directly to our residents. Together, we're building a safer community, one where prevention, preparation, and education are at the heart of everything we do. Now, to keep the fire safety message, we're inviting everyone to join us for our free fire prevention open house events. Now, we're holding 2 for this month. We actually have one coming up this Wednesday, which is October 15th, at Fire Station 3, located at 50 West 3rd Street. And of course, next week, Thursday, October 23rd, at Fire Headquarters, which is Station 1, located at 470 East Lincoln Avenue. Both events will run from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., and we're asking the public, come on out and have some fire safety fun, okay? So as one of the city inspectors, I do want to thank everyone, the community, the extended family, the fire department, my colleagues, for the continued support. And always remember, fire safety starts not just with me, but it starts with all of us. Thank you. And I'm going to pass it over to emergency medical technician dispatcher Tony Everett.
Good morning. So not too long ago, we shared the basics of our transformative, innovative EMS system. So today we're going to just give you some examples of the impact that that system has had over the 9 months that it has been in place. So what we had to do is take the emotion out of our EMS system, right? The data was always there. We would take the emotion out, look at the data, and build a system based on compassion and care, right? Versus being emotional about the complaints. Just look at what we have. The data is speaking to us. So we embraced the data. The county forced us to do that. as a result of the COVID-19 crisis. And we're not in this alone. We were not in this alone. All EMS systems in the county and across the state ran into a lot of problems because of the COVID-19, as a result of the COVID-19 crisis. But we wanted to take it another step and be prepared in the event something like that happened again. Also because we realized as we analyzed the data that under normal circumstances, we're at approximately 8,500 EMS calls a year on average, except for last year when we trended towards 10,000 EMS calls. We are the highest in the county outside of Yonkers. And so we have this data that we wanted to build a system that would handle the calls we got on a normal, regardless of the COVID-19 crisis. We also discovered some of our flaws in our system. The data showed it was there all the time. Embraced the data. Our responses were slow. We didn't have enough coverage in the city. We were being delayed getting back into service, and we were accused of abusing the county mutual aid system. And we were not the only, just so that we know, we were not the only agency in the county that was highlighted for that. So we looked at our data, and as I just mentioned, we see a trend of 8,500 EMS calls in the city, the highest in the county outside of Yonkers. But during that period, we started to prepare a plan. We knew that we could not continue doing this, and that it's a disservice to our citizens, it's a disservice to ourselves as employees. And so we began to look at our EMS system differently. And in 2024, we went full steam ahead on designing a new plan based on the data. It was not emotional, it was based on the data and the data analytics. 75% of most fire departments runs our EMS. That's nationally, 75%. So we were in the national numbers, but we didn't have enough resources on the ground to handle even the 75%. And when we blew up last year, you can just imagine. So we came up with a hybrid approach to a new EMS system. We expanded our fleet coverage from 2 ambulances, 24 hours and 112 to 4. We calculated we needed that many on the ground in order to cover the calls that we received. And because we discovered the trends of high utilizers, patients that call 911 a lot of times, seniors slip and fall in the homes, and our partnership with the Wellness Center with Persons in Crises, we designed the community paramedicine mobile integrated healthcare system with a twist. Generally, that system responds from references to it. We knew we needed to get in front of it. So ours is proactive, and we respond as a result of a call from a 911 system. So the changes that we've put in place and the expansion and the enhancement, we've seen a 40% reduction in our response times from an average of 10 to 13 minutes to 6.5 to 7.5. On calls, we reduced our mutual aid requests from a high of 651 year in 2022 to down to just 1 to 2 per week, many weeks with 0. And we have over 100 patients in our community paramedicine mobile integrated healthcare system, which will help decrease the number of 911 calls. And I just want to mention, and I don't think we broadcast this enough about the CPMIH program, that those patients are special and that they get their own private dedicated hotline that they can call versus the 911. And it's similar to back in the day when the doctor used to make house calls. So the medics make house calls to these patients, and we're hoping to have positive effect on not only our system, but their lives, right? And so with the enhanced in-house EMS training program that the chief alluded to, some of the training that has gone on, our fire department is upgrading and getting more comfortable with patient assessment and the new equipment. EMS is always evolving. We have collaborated and formed strategic partnerships with a lot of agencies and resources, not only in the city, but in the county and also on the state level. And we're becoming a voice in the county as one of the highest volume EMS systems. In Westchester County, we deserve a voice in the room, and we are being recognized for the work that we are doing here in Mount Vernon. And I just want to give a little shout out to our Inspector Jones and to show how everything is connected. So we think EMS and we think just someone's calling 911 because they're sick. Our program looks at EMS through the building department. We look at EMS through DPW. We look at EMS through many of the agencies because you're really on the ground and you see our residents, and sometimes they'll become our patients and differently than we do, right? And you're in their homes. And when we were forming an EMT class, we put Inspector Jones in that class because she's boots on the ground, she's eyes in the home, and she sees what could potentially become a patient. So we want to be proactive about resolving issues before they become issues, right? And so generally we put firefighters in these classes, but we're branching out because everybody has a part in EMS. And so Ms. Silver is a certified EMT and the team leader for our last class. So congratulations to you, Ms. Jones, and thank you for all your help in the department and the city. Thank you. Thank you, Mount Vernon.
So as you can see, the Mount Vernon Fire Department operates in various different means. We covered basically everything here, but the Mount Vernon Fire Department firefighters don't just respond to structure fires. We are also engaged in hazardous material incidents, car accidents, wires down, flooding incidents, trees that fall. Any type of emergency that you can imagine, the fire department is probably going to be called to that to help mitigate that situation. And that's all led through the training, through the cross-training, through the preparedness, through the inspections, to the enforcement of the codes, and our EMS. So with that being said, I'm thankful for the members, the ladies and gentlemen of the Mount Vernon Fire Department, the work that they put in. Every day of the year, they're available and ready to serve the citizens of Mount Vernon. Thank you.
Thank you. So I just wanted to say thank you so much to our fire leadership, to our firefighters, to our EMS team, to our fire inspectors for the incredible work that they do every day throughout the city. Even larger than the structure fires are the kitchen fires, right? The kitchen fires are the main, one of the main responses of fire that the fire department responds to. And so please, as part of Fire Prevention Month, we're asking you, not just this month, but every day, make sure if you're tired and you're just coming in from work, that you're not putting food on the stove or right before you go to bed because you've gotten in late, that you're putting food on the stove and that you're falling asleep, that you're walking out of the room. Some of us are great cooks and we're like, oh, well, I know it takes 10 minutes for this to happen or this amount of time, and we might go upstairs, we might go into another room, we might sit down and watch our favorite show and fall asleep, and next thing you know, there is a fire in the kitchen. That's dangerous. And also, our Deputy Commissioner Beal said that it's heating season from October 1st into May. Again, this is oftentimes where we try and save money, and we're plugging in, electric heaters. We're opening up our stove. If the heat goes out in the apartment, we're opening up our stove to try and heat the apartment a little bit, or turning on the burners on the stove. We've all seen it all. We've either done it ourselves or seen people who have done it. Please be careful. Please make sure that your fire detectors are up to date. Please, if you hear that beep, beep, beep in your house, replace your alarm, replace the battery in your fire alarm. If you don't have a carbon monoxide detector, please get that. It doesn't matter if you have children or elderly. It is for everyone, because carbon monoxide is odorless, and it is not easy to detect, but it is also very dangerous. And so please have a carbon monoxide detector. These things are not very expensive. We spend money on some things that we could leave alone. And so please, if you're going to go out, spend money on the things that are going to save the life of you and your family. I want to thank the fire department for your work. I want to thank the fire leadership. Thank you for continuing to grow upon the partnerships. And as you heard our EMS technician dispatcher Everett say, that we have over 100 people here in Mount Vernon who are what we call our frequent flyers or our regular callers, whether it is chronic medical conditions, whether it's medical anxiety, whether it's mental health, whether it's slip and falls. We have them on a list. We send case workers, case managers, and EMTs out to check on them regularly, so it reduces the amount of time that they have to just call 911, and we connect them to regular medical services. And so we continue to innovate here in the city of Mount Vernon. EMS is a conversation that is happening in the county and across the state, and it's one of the committees that I sit on for the New York Conference of Mayors and Municipal Officials, because it has been shown to be a major, major challenge. So thank you for all the work you do. Mount Vernon, please, when you see our police officers, our fire officers, DPW, city staff moving throughout the city, give them a little bit of encouragement, give them a little bit of applause. We're always looking to innovate and continue to step our game up in service to the community of Mount Vernon. Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed day, and we will see you next Monday. Take care.